Cannery Row, Chapter 20, Part 2 of Chapter 20. They sat in the afternoon, smoking, digesting, considering, and now and then having a delicate drink from the jug. And each time they warned that they must not take too much, for it was to be for Doc. They must not forget that for a minute. "What time you figure he'll be back?" Eddie asked. "Usually gets in about 8 or 9 o'clock, said Mac. "Now, we got to figure when we're going to give it. I think we ought to give it tonight." "Sure," the others agreed. "Maybe he might be tired," Hazel suggested. "That's a long drive." "Hell," said Jones, "nothing rests you like a good party. I've been so dog-tired my pants was dragging, and then I went to a party and felt fine." "We got to do some real thinking," said Mac. "Where are we going to give it?" "Here?" "Well, Doc, he likes his music. He's always got his phonograph going at a party. Maybe he'd be more happy if we give it over at his place." "You got something there," said Mac, "but I figure it ought to be like a surprise party, and how are we going to make it like it's a party and not just us bringing over a jug of whiskey?" "How about decorations?" Huey suggested. "Like 4th of July or Halloween." Mac's eyes looked off into space, and his lips were parted. He could see it all. "Huey," he said, "I think you got something there. I never would have thought you could do it, but by God, you really rang a duck that time." His voice grew mellow, and his eyes looked into the future. "I can just see it," he said. "Doc comes home. He's tired. He drives up. The place is all lit up. He thinks somebody's broke in. He goes up the stairs, and by God, the place has got the hell decorated out of it. There's crepe paper, and there's favors, and a big cake. Jesus, he'd know it was a party then. And it wouldn't be no little mouse fart party neither. And we're kind of hiding, so for a minute he don't know who done it, and then we come out yelling, 'Can't you see his face? By God, Huey, I don't know how you thought of it.'" Huey blushed. His conception had been much more conservative, based, in fact, on the New Year's party at La Ida, but if it was going to be like that, why, Huey was willing to take credit. "I just thought it would be nice," he said. "Well, it's a pretty nice thing," said Mac, "and I don't mind saying when the surprise kind of wears off, I'm going to tell Doc who thought it up." They leaned back and considered the thing, and in their minds the decorated laboratory looked like the conservatory at the Hotel Del Monte. They had a couple more drinks just to savor the plan. Lee Chong kept a very remarkable store. For instance, most stores buy yellow and black crepe paper and black paper cats, masks, and papier-mâché pumpkins in October. There is a brisk business for Halloween, and then these items disappear. Maybe they are sold or thrown out, but you can't buy them, say, in June. The same is true for 4th of July equipment, flags and bunting and skyrockets. Where are they in January? Gone. No one knows where. This was not Lee Chong's way. You could buy valentines in November at Lee Chong's, shamrocks, hatchets, and paper cherry trees in August. He had firecrackers he had laid up in 1920. One of the mysteries was where he kept his stock, since his was not a very large store. He had bathing suits he had bought when long skirts and black stockings and head bandanas were in style. He had bicycle clips and tatting shuttles and mahjong sets. He had badges that said, "Remember the Maine," and felt pennants commemorating Fighting Bob. He had mementos of the Panama Pacific International Exposition of 1915, little towers of jewels. And there was one other unorthodoxy in Lee's way of doing business. He never had a sale, never reduced a price, and never remaindered. An article that cost 30 cents in 1912 still was 30 cents, although mice and moths might seem to some to have reduced its value. But there was no question about it. If you wanted to decorate a laboratory in a general way, not being specific about the season, but giving the impression of a cross between Saturnalia and a pageant of the flags of all nations, Lee Chong's was the place to go for your stuff. Mac and the boys knew that, but Mac said, Where are we going to get a big cake? Lee hasn't got nothing but them little bakery cakes. Huey had been so successful before he tried again. Why'n't Eddie bake a cake, he suggested. Eddie used to be fry cook at the San Carlos for a while. The instant enthusiasm for the idea drove from Eddie's brain the admission that he had never baked a cake. Mac put it on a sentimental basis besides. It would mean more to Doc, he said. It wouldn't be like no goddamned old soggy bok cake. It would have some heart in it.